Hey, welcome to day 4 of the 30-day Bible reading challenge. I'm excited to get into this text with you. Today we're on day 4, Exodus 3, the call of Moses. Now, Moses, and this is after he's left Egypt, if you know the story, he has a run-in with an Egyptian, sort of this identity crisis, and he's gone. He's out of Egypt. And now Moses was keeping the flock of his father-in-law Jethro, the priest of Midian. We don't really know what sort of priest he is at this point, by the way. We assume he has some connection to the Lord down here, and I'll talk about that name in just a second. That's kind of the point for today's text. And he led his flock to the west side of the wilderness and came to Horeb, the mountain of God. And the angel of the Lord, let's note all of this here, the angel of the Lord. This is a phrase you'll see in the Old Testament. Christian interpreters have long said, oh, well, this is a pre-incarnate Christ or something like that. The scriptures aren't very clear about anything like that, but what I will tell you, and you're going to see it in just a second, is this angel of the Lord is not just a typical angel. In fact, the angel of the Lord almost seems synonymous, that is the same as the Lord himself. Now, I'll show you that. He appeared to him in a flame of fire out of the midst of a bush. He looked, and behold, the bush was burning, yet it was not consumed. So this is something miraculous, right? And Moses said, I will turn aside to see this great sight, why the bush is not burned. And look who sees. So, angel of the Lord. But look, when the Lord saw that he turned aside to see, God called to him out of the bush. Now, I need to talk about a few terms here. I pointed them out in the Genesis 1 video, I think. But notice anytime, and I'll just keep repeating this because it is helpful to know, anytime you have all caps, and sometimes you'll see it with God, it's not here, but anytime you have all caps with Lord, and as I said, sometimes you'll see it with God, all caps, in an English translation of the Old Testament, you have the divine name Yahweh, or sometimes it is said Jehovah. The reason it's said Jehovah is because that's a German word, and when English speakers try to speak German, they make the J hard. Rather than Jehovah, they say Jehovah. So Jehovah is not really a term that we find in Scripture. Yahweh is, Jehovah might be. It's just a matter of the vowel pointing, which is a whole nother issue with Hebrew. I realize that you don't need to read Hebrew to see this, but these terms are here in the text as well. I'll show you as we get down. I've got the Hebrew pulled up for a particular purpose, just to show you some of these words. Anyway, this is that, and then this would be just your Hebrew word Elohim, which is the standard word for God. All right, so he speaks to the bush, out of the bush, Moses. The dual calling is a common theme in the Bible, often refers to intimacy or something like that. Here I am as a typical answer to a prophetic call. Then he said, do not come near. Take your sandals off your feet, for the place on which you are standing is holy ground. If the Lord is anything, he is holy. And he said, verse 6, I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob. And Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look at God. Notice he's looking at God. Remember, angel of the Lord and God here are synonymous. Then we get to verse 7. Then the Lord said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people. Remember, he's the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He had made a covenant with them, so these are his people. Jacob becomes Israel, who are in Egypt, and have heard their cry because of their taskmasters. I know their sufferings, and I have come down to deliver them out of the hand of the Egyptians, and to bring them up out of that land to good and broad land, a land flowing with milk and honey, to the place of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and Jebusites. Couple of things here. Here is this Hebrew word for Yahweh, or by the way, Yahweh, like isn't, if you're reading Hebrew, you don't say Yahweh, and a Jewish person wouldn't say Yahweh here either. When you get to this word, you would say Adonai, which means Lord, which is why it's so significant when Jesus is referred to constantly in the New Testament as Lord, because that's where this term comes from. So to say Jesus is Lord is to equate him with this God of the Old Testament. It's a really bold claim. It's watered down in English. We tend to think it just means he's boss, which it certainly does, but it means even more than that. And so the Lord's going to deliver them from Egypt. And now, behold, the cry of the people of Israel has come to me, and I've also seen the oppression with which the Egyptians oppress them. Come, I will send you to Pharaoh, that you may bring my people, the children of Israel, out of Egypt. Remember, the whole point is he is in covenant with Isaac, or Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who is Israel. But Moses said to God, who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and bring the children of Israel out of Egypt? And he said, but I will be with you. Now, I just need to mark this. I will be, this is I will be with you. Okay, I will be. Now, just take note of what this looks like, because in a moment, when we get down to verse 13, you're going to see that verse 14, the Lord's going to reveal his name, and it's going to be this very name right here. Okay, so I will be with you. And this shall be the sign for you. And by the way, it's related to that name, Yahweh. It's a similar form. Let me pull it up here. He said, but I will be with you, and this shall be the sign for you that I have sent you when you have brought the people out of Egypt. You shall serve God on this mountain. Then Moses said to God, if I come to the people of Israel and say to them, the God of your fathers has sent me to you, and they ask me, what is his name? What shall I say to them? God said to Moses, I am who I am. One of the greatest lines in all of Scripture, no doubt. Verse 13, or in verse 14, remember what I just pointed out to you. I am, or I will be with you above. That's right here. See it 2 times. I am that I am. And actually, and you can see the footnote here, this little 1 in the ESV text tells you this. This could be translated in the same way as it was here. I will be who I will be. It's a way of saying, I'm going to be with you. So the divine name, this whole Yahweh, seems to mean something, and this is not to get into a really detailed discussion of this, but something like this. I will be who I will be. I am with my people. I am consistent. I am faithful. Something like that. So there's this name about his character. And he said, say this to the people of Israel, I am has sent you. And once more down here, you can see that word. So 1, 2, 3 here, and then in verse 12, which I don't know if it's on the screen here. Yeah, you can barely see it. So here, here, and here. 4 times, right? I am, which may better, again, be translated as I will be. God also said to Moses, say this to the people of Israel, the Lord, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob has sent me to you. This is my name forever. Okay. So here's his name. He's this God who is always with his people. I am that I am. I will be with you. I will be that I am. Okay, that's the name. That's the meaning. Go and gather the elders of Israel together and say to them, the Lord, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac and Jacob has appeared to me, saying, I have observed you and what has been done to you in Egypt, and I promise that I will bring you up out of the affliction of Egypt to a land of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites, a land flowing with milk and honey. and they will listen to your voice, and you and the elders of Israel shall go to the king of Egypt and say to him, the Lord, the God of the Hebrews, has met with us. And now please let us go 3 days' journey into the wilderness, that we may sacrifice to the Lord our God. But I know that the king of Egypt will not let you go unless compelled by a mighty hand. So I will stretch out my hand and strike Egypt with all the wonders that I will do in it. After that he will let you go, and I will give this people favor in the sight of the Egyptians. And when you go, you shall not go empty. But each woman shall ask of her neighbor, and any woman who lives in her house, for silver and gold jewelry and for clothing. You shall put them on your sons and on your daughters, so you shall plunder the Egyptians. So we have this revelation and this call of Moses of the Lord as the God who is with his people. The Lord who is the God who is faithful to his covenants, to his promises, and who is going to carry out this great plan of redemption. And this whole Exodus theme that develops throughout the book of Exodus gets picked up again by the prophets, especially Isaiah, who says something's coming, and it's going to be like a new Exodus. It's going to be like a second Exodus. And we see in the Gospels of the New Testament, in places like Matthew and Mark, very clear indications that with Jesus, the new Exodus has come. I hope you'll keep reading and join me tomorrow for day 5 as we continue this 30-day Bible reading plan. See you then.